Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Sammy Leggett here, representing Team JVS. Here, you guys, another movie review. And yes, this is another Marvel movie. Was it something that I enjoyed? Was it something I was like, or was it something I just did not like? I'm going to say effectively, at a certain point in this film, I very much so was all the way behind it. And I think I needed to make a little bit of time to understand what we were actually getting and what the movie was going to be about. So, the background of it, of course, Florence Pugh's character, the new Black Widow, Yelena, has been roped into a lot of the escapaded Julia Louise Dreyfus character. Valentina has been cooking up ever since she got the ability to do so. And at the point that, we lost Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, truthfully, Yelena has been trying to find what her purpose is. And in the confounds of this, she unfortunately and fortunately finds a ragtag group of other anti-heroes slash killers slash mess up people, best way to put it, to work with her to try to create a new group. Now, this is a huge cast in this one. I mean, you got Wyatt Russell back in the U.S. agent. If you've seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, did a really good job there. David Harbour is back yet again as Yelena's father. You got Sebastian Stan back as Bucky Barnes. You got a huge cast here. And there are other cast members that have been recasted. One was Stephen Young was to play the role of a certain character that was very pivotal to this story that was being done by Lewis Pullman, that is Robert Reynolds. And then I think that Ao Mbribri, she was also one of the cast that were initially supposed to be working with Julius Dreyfus, but that was also recasted as well. But let's go ahead and kind of get down into it. So even down to the name, Thunderbolts asterisk, this is all very specific. Now, when the movie first starts, honestly, I just didn't know what to make of it. And to be honest with you too, Valentina as a character, I really just don't get. I have yet to get behind her. I understand her importance. I understand her pushing the narrative, but every time she is there, and it's not Julia's fault. I just do not like her character. I don't love to hate her. I just really don't want to see her. They did a good job of adding somebody that is working alongside her, so she can have an assistant to kind of buffer out certain moments. But the majority of the time, I just did not want to see her. Anytime she's on screen, I really just don't like seeing her. But when you get to the characters, you kind of are like, where are we going with the storyline? Because when they first start, they all collectively have their own agendas going on. Yelena's going and just is bored and doesn't feel like she has a purpose. U.S. agent, when we first see him, like it seems like he's gone through the ring of it, and they're all put at a small impasse against each other. And from that point, it starts off what you think this movie is supposed to be. It's just another Marvel-centric version of the Suicide Squad. And yes, there's different Suicide Squad movies. There's the James Gunn Suicide Squad. There's the David Ayer Suicide Squad, and then there's multiple different incarnations from an animated standpoint, movie and television. But that's what you think you're gonna get. And truth be told, from the beginning of the movie all the way up to a certain point, that is exactly call it by the numbers. Like they get put in these precarious situations. You know this is life or death. You know that they're set up to fail, and you know that they all collectively have a lot of baggage that is going to keep them at their knees, so to speak. Now, this is the interesting thing. When you first see the very first concept art, I was kind of like, oh snap, this is tough. You got Taskmaster, you got old girl from Ant-Man 2 that went invisible, Ghost. And I mean, you got Bucky Barnes in here, and I mean, yeah, you got Valentina on the left. But I was like, oh wow, I'm really excited this because I was like, this is there's more to this, right? And then when you get later on, you know for a fact that one of the pivotal characters that's gonna come up in this, and you've seen in the trailers, is a certain character named Sentry, and Sentry is one of the best things that lights this movie on fire or electrocutes it, whatever way you want to kind of take it, but the thing that I'll say in the very beginning, the first half, I just really wasn't. I mean, I could have taken it or leave it. It wasn't something that was catching me. I felt like the humor was okay. It really wasn't doing anything with me. I mean, from Yelena's character, Florence Pugh, like I wanted to see the progression of her character. Wyatt Russell's character, U.S. agent, when you first see him in, especially in the beginning, there's small little sprinkles that you remember from Falcon and Winter Soldier, but they don't really develop him at all in the first half. They do nothing with that. David Harrow's character is always funny, Alexi, but you've seen it. You've seen it multiple different times, and they haven't been in a circumstance that is life or death. And then at a certain point, the movie goes into a different route, which I am happy about, because the moment that this scene right here pops up and you know what's going on, it truly does become life or death. And you've seen it from the trailers. You've seen people getting poofed in the streets. You've seen people getting like strung up. And I did not anticipate getting that excited for a Marvel movie in a very long time, especially one that I did not add a lot of hyper expectations for. I went into this with very low expectations, saw the first trailer, and I just was kind of like, oh, okay, we'll see where this goes. But nothing could have prepared me for them getting certain character that right. And at the same time, the feeling of dread when you see like moments like this, I was in shock. Like the very first poof that you see, I couldn't believe how and why that happened. And again, there's two big pivotal characters they had to go and break down, and they did that job well, and especially in the amount of time that they get. And this is the weirder thing. I'm gonna say it, be careful. It tonally changes, because then from that moment you're starting to deal with psychoanalysis, you're dealing with depression, you're dealing with hopelessness, you're dealing with spiraling, and even the way that the villain's power set works tonally, there is like this nightmarish theme that's actually happening that you don't anticipate from this kind of Marvel movie. And I really dug it. Like I really was excited the way that they paid this off and the way they handled it. And I mean, I also got to give credit where credit's due. I mean, how do I put this without spoiling? Lewis Pullman's character is a cornerstone of this working. If his character did not work, this movie falls. And again, you've got Julia Louis-Dreyfus. You got Wendell Pierce in this movie. You've got freaking Florence Pugh and Sebastian Stan in this movie. David Harbour. Like, you got lovable, well-known characters and actors playing these roles that we know. But if his character was not in this, it would not break through, in my personal perspective. Now, let's go and talk about a little bit of the different aesthetics of this. Again, the beginning of it was Call It by the Numbers. You've seen it before. Tonally, even the score and certain choices of color and visibility, even aerial shots, some of even like the street level stuff that was actually happening, it was really well done as far as choreography, set design. There's this one scene you've probably seen it in trailers where it takes place in a building and it just looks like just rubble and debris just blowing everywhere. Really well done, really well shot. And I think honestly, from the second half of the movie, everybody gets a little bit more depth. I think David Harbour's character really kind of stays exactly the same, but definitely Florence Pugh's character and Wyatt Russell's character for sure do get more to chew on. Sebastian Stan's character actually does a really good job with Julia Louis-Dreyfus' assistant. Whenever they're conversing and communicating, it's actually really interesting. It's actually really cute and funny. But I do think that they underutilized Sebastian Stan in this one. He kind of felt like the guy that's the uncle that just had to deal with these ragtag group of fools and just had to, make it work, so to speak. But I do think he was underutilized. And then maybe that's something else that they're trying to not necessarily set up, but work in towards something else. The other thing that hurts this movie in a way is I think the expectation of what you're thinking is going to be the comic book version of the Thunderbolts, right? I mean, most people look at Thunderbolts and they think the perspective of Thunderbolt Ross. You think about like, oh, the darker versions of the heroes, the anti-heroes. Like that is what people thought, especially when you got like somebody like Deadpool that just dropped out and is very much so rated R. You're kind of thinking, oh wow, we're gonna go and get all the way deep in, right? And even like characters like Zemo, who's very much so been introduced, been given certain costumes. You're thinking, oh, okay, this is where we're going towards this. At the second half of this movie, whatever you thought that was going to be, that is not the way the trajectory of this movie goes. That is not this. and I think that's a good thing, but it will hurt or hinder your expectation, because if you went in with expectations of what it's supposed to be, you're going to be lessened. And some people would say like some of the way that this is darker and handled in the way it's done, it's been seen before with people that you don't necessarily perspective that you don't like. I, for one, actually did dig it, but that's not to say that there weren't characters that were underutilized. It's not to say that the first half or up until a certain point that I just was kind of checked out and I was just kind of thinking what it was going to be, what it is. But I think they do rebound really well. And I think that one of the biggest things is that at the end of the movie, you're kind of left with, whoa, what does this mean? And there's two credit scenes. There's a mid-credit scene, right? That's more so about the comedy. And normally it's the end credit that's the comedy. But the end credit scene is actually pivotal to where the trajectory of all this is going. And you do not want to miss that at all. So, all that being said, you have expectations, as I did, possibly, that may not get met. This is tonally different. The second half of the film, beginning of the film plays it by the numbers. It's not necessarily what you care for. But when it's going, very entertaining. Definitely tonally, I love the tonal change. I love them diving deep into the mental aspect of what it means to be a hero and what does it mean if somebody is inhibited with all the different gifts or abilities or trained to do X, Y, Z or having a purpose when they're already mentally unbalanced. What does that actually do? What does that actually mean? And which side will win out? And I think that aspect of it works for Marvel because I don't think they really kind of tackled it and allowed themselves to breathe in that sense. But if anybody has issues with this film or anybody has like concerns and it's not tempered to what they wanted, or you've seen this before, or it's an amalgam of two different subsets that you've seen before, maybe with another DC property, not going to go there. This may not be for you, but I actually really did enjoy it. So my rating for this is a 7.5 out of 10. So I actually really enjoyed it. But let me know what you guys think. Did you guys really enjoy it? What did you get out of it? I'll talk to you guys a bit later on. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thank you guys so much for watching, wherever you're watching this from. We appreciate you guys. And we've got a lot more reviews, interviews, discussions, and a lot more coverage to come. All right. Have a good one. Peace. Oh, can't go.
Filing out the top of
I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my mind.